What was that creative process like for Bag It, Bone It?
Wow. So on that particular album, um, I did a lot of rapping. I was able to do a lot of rapping on there. I felt like I needed to fill a void, you know what I mean? So I started writing a little bit and coming up with a lot of the beats. A lot of the tracks on that album was done in my bedroom. You know what I'm saying? And of course, Full Force contribution as well. But um, a lot of that, Kango did a bunch of songs that he produced and did tracks for. I did a bunch of tracks. Full Force did tracks. That album was a collaboration of all of us from a production standpoint, contributing. But I do believe during the bagging and boning, we was on our decline. The unity wasn't as strong as it was. Um, Creative differences were taking over a little bit. All of us started um, having side projects. Kango was heavily producing at that time. Um, Other artists, he was very wrapped up with Whistle as well. Um, so it was a lot going on at that time as well. But all of us started, pursuing, different situations, and that spaced us out a little bit as well. So, but it was a difficult time because you see the direction that it's going, and then we're not all seeing eye to eye with each other. You know what I mean? So
Right. Was that
it's a rough
Jive
time.
deal? Was that Jive deal just for one album?
No, we only did one album with Jive, but it was. I don't remember the exact contract situation, but it definitely wasn't a one and done. It was supposed to be more albums than that, but UTFO we ended up breaking up, and we never recorded any more with Jive after that. We all went our separate ways after that. After the first album with Jive.
After that album does its thing, where do you guys find yourself? Do you just kind of slowly pursue your own paths, or do you have a conversation about the direction of UTFO in the future?
Well, um, everybody started working on projects. I started getting into producing. Kango was already producing artists. Educated rapper, he wanted to put a studio together. And for me, myself, I was able to keep a DJ campaign going on. Um, as early back as 85, 86, a lot of different promoters would fly me back to their cities to perform just Mixmaster Ice, and go back to their cities and tear it down because a lot of them didn't have DJs that displayed the type of turntablism, that's what they call it now, that we were doing back then. So fortunate for me, I was able to keep on DJing because I had many promoters that would bring me back to the cities to do their mansion parties, their skating rinks, their um, uh, concert after parties, the live DJ at the concert. So I was able to maintain and continue a DJ journey through relationships that I had built while we would be on tour. For some reason, I just always clicked with promoters. We just click, and it's about networking. When you're out there, you rub a few elbows and you network.
Right.
And fortunate for me, people would bring me back to DJ, and that's one of the reasons how I ended up in Columbus, Ohio, where I'm at now. That was one of the cities I used to frequent a lot. I had about 12, 13 different cities that at any given time, they would bring me back to DJ. And this happened to be one of them cities. So I ended up buying my first property out here. And once I bought my first home, I was like, oh, man, it's time to relocate. I ain't never owned a home in New York. You know what I mean? We rented everything. So, cost of living was a lot different. I was like, yeah, I'm with this. I'll just take New York with me to Ohio. You know what I mean? So, but,
Right.
yeah, we all was able to maintain careers because we were all so talented. You know what I mean? And we all dip and dab. I had a couple of groups I was managing. Kango was managing. Educated Rapper was dipping and dabbing, running into artists and trying to find the next big thing that he wanted to also produce too. But all of us were able to, sustain, because of, our journey as UTFO. we were able to stand on our own 2 feet and, pursue individual endeavors.
Very dope. Last album was 30 years ago. Can you
Wow.
catch us up on outside of DJing, what you have been up to? Maybe some projects we may have overlooked. Just catch us up on from 91 to 2021. What has Mixmaster Ice been up to?
Wow. Still DJing, still loving the DJing. Right now, I'm in development. I found a passion in motivational speaking. And it's something that I have been bubbling inside of me for quite a while. And this year, especially during the pandemic, it just made me want to recreate and try to come up with some things. But that was something that had been brewing in me for quite a while. So I've been dipping and dabbing with it a little bit on my IG, just testing the waters, seeing the feedback, seeing if anybody's interested. And it has been tremendous so far. And I'm just tapping it. I'm not even full scale with it yet. So the feedback I've been getting has been tremendous. People are calling me crying, telling me thank you, don't stop. I can't wait to hear the next one. Need any help with it? Let me know. So that's something that's about to turn into something special. I'm in process with that right now. I'm in development of revamping my whole mixmasterice.com website. That should be up and running probably within the next 2 weeks. So look out for that, y'all out there. Next few weeks, that should be up in development, running. But my motivational speaking, I want to be able to touch with the youth a little bit, and just tap into them, man. A lot of the youth is having a lot of fun, just like we have had a lot of fun with hip hop. But hip hop has gotten a little out of control. Quite frankly, a lot out of control. And we need a little bit more balance. I'm okay with what the youngins is doing. I get it. I come from that cloth. I get it. But at the same time, we need a little bit more balance because the babies that are coming up are being influenced by what they're hearing the teenagers of today and the people in their early 20s doing now. They're the ones, hip hop is always going to be about the youth. And that's just how it is,
Right.
The record company is always going to cater towards the youth. That's just the way it's going to be. Me as an older OG in the game, I'm looking for that next artist that's willing to take a risk, that want to be a game changer. A lot of people now like to ride the same wave, and I get it. If it's making money, it makes sense. That's their motto right now. If it make money, it makes sense. And if they can get fame out of it at the same time, it's a double blessing. I get it. I'm not going to knock them. I'm not one of them old guys that, be really dogging the young people. I get it. I understand how hip hop has manifested to where it is now. I'm just personally want to see a little bit more balance in the game.
Right.
So that people that want that alternative, they can have it. We had our public enemies during my era. We had the X-Clans, the Poor Righteous Teachers, the KRS-One, the self-destruction movements, and I can go on and on and on. Brand Nubian. We're missing that. We're missing that balance. We had that balance back then. We still had the get it in stuff too, but we had that balance. So, me personally, I like to see a little more balance in the game, and I want to, as I'm doing my motivational thing, I'm getting engaged in different communities, talking to the youth, in prisons, talking to the youth inside of prisons, but the youth, they need a little direction. And, some of us are just leaving them astray. Some of them want direction. And if you don't give it to them, they're going to figure it out on their own and do it how they see fit. We just have to, tap into their energy and just do it from a different perspective. Same way when I was young, our parents didn't think hip hop was going to last. Nobody did. We knew it would, but they didn't believe it would last. You know what I mean? They thought it was a passing fad. Hip hop ain't going to go nowhere because as long as the youth want to buy computers, controllers, turntables, keyboards, studios. Hip hop ain't going nowhere. And now these guys can bang out songs in their bedrooms with headphones on and upload it and get a hit out of it. It don't even need radio. So hip hop has came a long way with the incorporation of social media for what that brings to the table. But back to myself, definitely want to turn up a notch on motivational speaking, reaching the youth as well, and inspiring people, man. So that pandemic has taught us a lot. There's some people out here suffering mentally, and they just need a little direction, or just knowing someone cares enough to talk to them and say something that inspires them. So I have a passion for that. That's something I'm looking to turn up in the near future. And I haven't done any movies yet. Dipping and dabbing that. I got a couple of friends in the game that in some pretty heavy places. So I'm good for a few favors. Let's put it that way. I can call in a few favors. My track record is good. When you got a good track record, you can still get them phone calls in. You know what I mean? So,
right.
I'm thinking about dipping and dabbing in that little acting thing there. I think I can pull it off.
No doubt.
We'll see. But yeah, the future's wide open. I'm 56 years old. I still feel great. I still love hip hop. If you love what you do and do what you love, it'll never feel like work.
Right.
I still get a rise when I throw that record on and the crowd go crazy and you see people having a good time. That's what the whole DJing thing is about. It's about providing that source of energy for people to have a good time. You know what I mean? And I come from that cloth, so I still do that. That's my true love in hip hop is DJing, and then I rap a little bit. So don't be surprised if you hear a project or two come from me, because that's brewing in me as well. I like to be heard a little bit more than just my hands as well.
Very dope. I was going to ask you about the state of DJing in 2021, but I'm going to let my man Rob Swift from the legendary Executioners. I'm going to ask this question for him. What does Mixmaster Ice think about there not being any scratches on hip hop songs except for the occasional DJ Premier produced song?
The problem with that is this: a lot of these groups and artists don't have DJs. A lot of them. I'm not gonna say all of them. A lot of them don't have DJs that are incorporated, first of all, with them on their contracts, or even with them as a group. There was a time when it was all about the DJ. And then once hip-hop started getting contracts and recording contracts, you start dealing with publishing and different issues like that, rappers started getting more light and more control. The DJ started taking a back seat. Early in hip-hop, it was about the DJ, and the MCs backed up the DJ. When it started making these records and getting these deals, now you got the DJs backing up the rappers. Technology has hurt the DJ game. It's a curse and a blessing. So, there was a time when you needed a DJ. There was no way around it. The rawest form and pure essence of hip-hop is with a DJ. There's no way around it. You need somebody back there spinning that wax that you're going to rap over. Well, technology has caught up with that, and you don't need a DJ anymore. When they came out with the DAT tapes, you could put your whole show on a tape, hit play, and the MCs can go and perform the whole show. The show is already done. There's no one-man band. They don't got to pay a DJ. I hate to say it, but sometimes it's about dollars and cents. So that hurt the game. Some MCs took advantage of that. Then the CDs came into play. Same thing. You could put your whole show on a CD, hand the CD to somebody and say, hit play. The house DJ, hey, put this in, house DJ, we get ready to perform. Taking advantage. Sometimes they don't even pay the house DJ, or maybe they give them a few dollars, but maybe not as much as the homie from around the way that grew up with them. technology, curse and a blessing for sure with hip hop. And then, like I said, with the, the rappers getting the recording deals, and if they didn't bring their DJs on those deals with them, sometimes the DJ got left out.
Right.
Am I still sounding clear?
No, you're great.
Okay. I don't know, my headphones did something weird.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, great. But back to Rob's question. Back in the day, when you had groups like Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five, that DJ name is solidified in that group. Africa Bambaataa and the Soul Sonic Force, that's the DJ name solidified in that group. Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince, that's a DJ name on that title with the rapper. Okay, now you go Run DMC. You can't think of Run DMC and not think of Jam Master Jay. His name is solidified. Houdini, Grandmaster D of Houdini. When you think of Houdini, their DJ was Grandmaster D coming up. That's solidified. UTFO, Mixmaster Ice. I'm solidified. De La Soul, Maceo. I mean, I can go on and on and on and on of DJ's contributions. But that's the difference now. The DJ was very strongly part of the group. And in a lot of cases, a lot of the DJs also produced. So if you produced, then a lot of chances you were on contracts because you're dealing with publishing and you're dealing with, record company contracts, et cetera, et cetera. A lot of these artists now can get deals on their own, and they ain't got to break that bread like they had to back then. Technology has made it where some of these artists don't need DJs, and we come from the cloth of routines and that vinyl. So once you take vinyl out of the picture, I'm talking real vinyl, not the Serato and the control records that we use now, the latest technology that we all had to adapt to. You take it back to the essence, and hip hop don't move without a DJ. So that's why, to answer that question, why a lot of these groups don't have DJs, because they don't have to. They don't have to. And they don't have to respect the culture the way we do and the way we did. They could do it a whole nother way and pull it off. Now, of course, people like myself, we feel a way about that because we are heavily invested in the DJ culture. But at the end of the day, they're able to pull it off because of technology. It's a curse and a blessing. Real truth.
Wow. I want to thank you for this opportunity, Mixmaster Ice. Thank you for everything you've done for the culture. Before we get out of here, can you let us know what your greatest achievement has been throughout the years?
Whew. Greatest achievement has been throughout the years. This has nothing to do with hip hop. My greatest achievement is being a father. Putting my kids through high school, watching them grow up, watching them have kids. That's my greatest achievement. I always said if I was to pass away, what would be more important? Great DJ or great father? I'll take great father any day. That's my greatest achievement. Going back to hip hop, there's been many great achievements. I was inducted into the DMC Techniques DMC Hall of Fame in the year 2000.
Wow.
That was major, man. I ain't gonna lie, I scratched my ass off a lot of years. I brought a lot of tricks to the game. I was one of those early DJs that on the road, was able to have a solo in my show. all the way back in 84, 85, but that's what we did at the block parties. I was a big part of the group, so when we be on these stages, I'm one of them early DJs that's putting in that solo work on my little 5-10 minutes of fame. I'm getting it in, I'm doing tricks and introducing the world to what they call now turntablism. I'm one of the early ones that was displaying that on tours. But definitely the DMC technique, DJ Hall of Fame, that's monumental. Having that top 10 record, Roxanne, that was monumental. Leader of the Pack, a record about me. The man in the back is dressed in black. He's called what we call the leader of the pack, monumental. And, just being at the right place at the right time in the culture, I'm blessed from the man above. Nothing moves inside of me without his blessing. And I strongly acknowledge that. You know what I'm saying? So, all of that is embodied in me. You know what I'm saying? But if I had to answer what was my greatest, I'm going to go back to what I said originally, and that's, being a father, because that passes on a legacy. And my kids aren't even into hip hop like that. None of my kids are rappers or DJs, anything like that. They all pursuing their own endeavors. But, to be a father to them and be that source of wisdom, watch them now stand on their own 2 feet and make their own choices, recover from mistakes, you know what I'm saying, and how they bounce back from that, that makes me feel proud. You know what I'm saying? That makes me feel proud. So I'm which is another reason why the motivational speaking thing is important to me. You know what I'm saying? Just giving people direction that needed. But from hip hop, we were fortunate, man. Coming out of East Flatbush, linking up with Full Force, and being able to travel the world and inspire other people to want to do what we do and what we did, and give their contributions to the culture. We're just one extension to the branch. I'm just one extension of many DJs. I stand on the shoulders of many, many great DJs that I studied, that I looked up to, that I respected, and I wanted to be like and even be better than, But I salute all of them, all those legends and pioneers, the Flash, the Theodores, the Kool Herc, the Bambaataa, the Jazzy J, the Red Alerts, the Charlie Chase. I mean, I can go on and on. DST. I can go on and on. Then I could fast forward it back to Brooklyn. Some of the reggae dreads that was DJing from our neighborhoods. We had Hitman Howie T in our neighborhood that was major for us in East Flatbush. DJ Fashion was one of my favorite DJs studying. We had Grandmaster Flowers. Oh man, I can go on and on and on, man. I stand on the shoulders of many great DJs, man, and I studied them all. And I took a little DNA from each one of them and put it inside of me and rubbed it up and came up with my own form of, what I wanted to cook up on them turntables. You know what I'm saying? But I stand on the shoulders of great DJs, man. I love this culture, man. And I love and I am blessed to still be a part of this and still be relevant. And that's because I'm still a student. I love the culture.
Right.
Like
I said, we want to thank you so much for what you've done for the culture, the inspiration, just being a stand-up guy. Evidently, you're a great father. I see some of the comments in the chat. Before we get out of here, can you shout out your social media and where we can keep up with Mixmaster Ice on everything as far as social media?
Yes, indeed. The website should be up and running in a couple of weeks. Right now, Twitter's at Mixmaster Ice and Instagram's at Mixmaster Ice. I'm not currently on Facebook. Facebook booted me off about 2 years ago. They wanted me to put my real name on there. I kept ignoring the notifications, so Facebook shut me down. I'm debating if I want to put a new Facebook up, but I've been off Facebook for about 2 years now. Definitely the Instagram for sure. and I got my Twitch. My Twitch is coming. So I got some things that's coming that's going to be incorporated with the website as well. But for right now, definitely Instagram. I'm on Twitter every now and then, but I'm gonna channel a lot of stuff through mixmasterice.com. Once that's up and running, you guys will see the direction that I'm going in the future. But for right now, Instagram, please DM me, holler at me. You want to book me? You want me to come to your city and tear down a 70s, 80s, 90s set? You throwing that old school event? I'm your guy. I'm the king of the throwbacks. So if you want to bring me in to team up with a DJ out there, you can do that. Or if you just want me to come through and smash it, holler at me. I'm available for bookings. This is my 41st DJ anniversary this year. I started DJing in 1980, so I've been at this thing a long, long time. Salute to my brother Kango. Salute to my brother Dr. Ice. Salute to the entire Full Force posse, the whole Full Force family. And you, my brother, thank you for reaching out to me. I'm glad we was able to make this happen, and salute to your platform as well. Are you still there?
Yeah, it just kind of it's all good. It just paused, but I can still hear you.
Yeah. But salute to you, man, and consider me a friend.
Absolutely.
Reach out. We'll continue to network and politic and come up with some things. Let's cook up something together and figure out what we could do together. But
absolutely,
thanks for having me on your platform and reaching out to me, and I appreciate you, man.
It was a pleasure. We're only 2.5 hours away. I'm just up the street, so whenever I'm in town, I'm gonna hit you up.
Yes,
but
indeed.
before we get out of here, any last words for the people that's been rocking with you for well over 3 decades?
Thank you. You're always as good as your fans. You guys give us the energy and the inspiration to keep going. Thanks for that motivation. Thanks for all the love throughout the years. Thanks for all the support of myself and behalf of UTFO. We love our fans. We haven't been out there in many, many years, but we love our fans. And I just want to say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I see the hearts. I see the flowers and all that. Thank you all. It means the world that we're still able to impact and still receive love. Because it's always going to always be about love, man. You know what I mean? When an artist that you love and admire, you're going to always support them. So thanks for all the love and support. I appreciate it tremendously. It means everything to me. Y'all stay tuned and stay tapped into me. If you need a holler for right now, at Mixmaster Ice on the IG, and be on the lookout for mixmasterice.com. That is coming.
No doubt. This has been History Lesson, episode 164 with the legendary Mixmaster Ice. I am the journalist Sin-seer. Thank you so much for the opportunity, Ice.
Peace and blessings.
Peace and blessings. Anybody who wants to watch the interview will be posted immediately to my